And speaking
So-
of strange occurrences, you
Oh
got
my God, strange.
Kevin De Bruyne to enter Miami. How crazy! If there's no way, how would it be possible?
So we have gotten somewhere important here, James. This is where my faith is tested. This is God's hardest trial or whatever. This is it. Because I fully believe the salary cap should be done away with.
Mm-hmm.
And all these dumb rules, if you can get around it, get around it. But Miami has already kind of gotten around it for 4 other guys. Like, on top of the 4 we know about, like, you got to think there's other guys. They've, like, just... To see Kevin De Bruyne go to Miami would kind of kill my soul. I don't know. Not that I want him on the fire. It's just... Oh, that's too much firepower, man.
That would be insane. Are they losing somebody? Is Busquets retiring? Like, how?
No, I think they're gonna do the thing where it's like, oh, actually, he doesn't cost that much. He's like basically a TAM player.
Oh, it's like
because it's
Zlatan
half the
Ibrahimovic
season.
was a TAM player. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, like, you got to think they fined Miami back in the day when they had bullshit DPs, like when Tweedy was on the team getting paid under the table.
Right.
But, like, before that, they made the LA Galaxy, who was trying to build a real team, they made them have to choose between Giovanni Dos Santos and
That's right.
and Zlatan.
They made him sell.
And it was terrible. Like, I wanted to see Gio on the team, Gio and Jonathan Dos Santos with
They ruined
Ibrahimovic, and yeah, it was terrible. And so, like, I do like that Miami gets away with stuff. This is a lot. This would be really getting away with something.
Do you think that Columbus Crew got away with something when they traded for Daniel Gazdag for the Philadelphia Union?
Are you asking me? Because I said this to shout out to Connor No Soccer. I said this earlier in the day to him when I was talking about how I didn't feel like there was a ton of soccer news this week. I said, before you even start, I don't want to hear about no bullshit about Gazdag. This reasonable move that will help both team and player, I don't want to hear about it. Like, this is a very reasonable signing that will help both the team and it'll help Gazdag get back to, like, playing even better. Because I don't think he's been playing poorly, but I don't think he's been to his normal level. I don't know. How do you feel about it? I saw you were talking to Connor as well.
I don't know if it's the team around him that's failing or if it's him, but like I didn't expect him in his 28th year, especially after showing such incredible skill in his years and this few years here in MLS, like that he would all of a sudden just dip into nowheresville. It doesn't make sense. Something else is going on. So it's either he needs a new destination, he needs a new place, there's some sort of injury that he has yet to recover from, or trouble at home. I don't know. It's there's some sort of something going on with Gazdag, but maybe a new destination gets the best out of him, because it sounds like that's what he needed, and sure enough, there it is. It happened. So his deal was up this year for 2026. These things tend to happen in contract years, and then you think about the way the Crew, who sometimes aggressively acquire good MLS talent, like parts of their team, like your favorite player, Darlington. The darling over there.
No, Darlington Nagbe is just he is the quintessential, he wasn't here in 98, right? But I think in like 50 years, when people look back and they say, what was the league like? Darlington Nagbe will encompass all of it. But anyway, no, James, I agree. I think Gazdag's going to do well in Columbus. And the question is, with Philly, did they do this because they've got a kid they believe in the system because they're like that? Or, which I kind of came into this season thinking they weren't going to compete, and then they won 4 straight games, right? So do they feel like they didn't expect to compete? They're playing with house money. They're trying to like rebuild the team. So why not move Gazdag when somebody like Columbus, who smartly sees a hole in their roster, tries to fill it?
You're
I don't know.
moving a in his prime player, the best player on your team, arguably, in his prime, 28th year. This sounds similar to what the Dallas Mavericks did with Luka Doncic, trading
Not
him.
quite.
They traded it. He's young. He's 26. They traded him for old as mold. What's his face?
Oh, Baron, is it Baron Davis
No.
or Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis, AD. Thank you. For Anthony Davis, who is quite a bit older in terms of his NBA years, too. I think he's 32, 34, somewhere in that range. But in his star prime, Luka Doncic, top 5 offensive player in the NBA. Like, is Gazdag that? No. But is he a top 10 cam in the league on his day? I think so. Probably, right?
Well, I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. I cannot remember Philly's lineup right now. I have a pretty strong feeling they've got an outside back who's really good. But yes, Gazdag is arguably their best player.
He's got to be.
Arguably. Because unless I'm crazy, they got somebody on the back line, whether it's outside or inside, that's pretty darn good, or at least is playing lights out. And I can just for the life of me cannot remember who it is. I love you're on the case. Oh, Gleason's or Glessons or whatever his name is. The center, yeah. He's usually lights out. And then Baribo after
Baribo's been going crazy.
Well, he hasn't scored in like 3 weeks. Remember, we were like 3 games in, and he had 6 goals. He still has 6 goals.
Wow! Oh wow! So his domination has trailed off. Yeah, they needed some sort of change up. Something wasn't working with Gazdag and the rest of the team. I mean, like that's why you do that drastic change. Like I don't know how you couldn't be able to come up with the funds to keep the guy, keep the heart of your team, in my opinion. But they of course know better than we do.
Wait, this isn't a move to get Calvin Sullivan on the field more, is it?
It could be. It very well could be.
I mean, he's a child.
But he's a kid, right? Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, you know what? That makes a little... Shout out to Connor. Oh, man. Oh, my God. So, James, I want you to go into that. I want you to go... I want everybody... So should we take a break and come back with that?
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some of the good from this week.